Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about fuel cells. A fuel cell is an electrical cell that, when supplied with a fuel and oxygen, uses energy from the reaction between them to generate electricity. So remember, the name of the game is generating electricity. Now, this is an equation to show the reaction that goes on in a hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell. So we can see that we have hydrogen and oxygen reacting together to produce just water and also enough energy to generate electricity. Now, so why do we need to learn about fuel cells? Now, the reason is, at the moment, a lot of our electricity comes from burning fossil fuels. So the three types of fossil fuels are coal, oil, and natural gas. Now, the problem with this is the waste products that are produced when we burn these. So carbon dioxide, CO2, produces global warming. Now, what that means is it actually absorbs some of the thermal energy, the infrared radiation from the sun, and it causes global temperatures to rise around the world. And this can melt the ice caps, causing the sea levels to rise. We also produce this thing called carbon monoxide. Now, carbon monoxide is a particularly nasty, poisonous gas. And what it does is it stops red blood cells from being able to carry oxygen around your body. So it's a really poisonous gas. And if you inhale too much of this, it can kill you because your body's tissues can't get any oxygen. Burning fossil fuels also releases SO2, also known as sulfur dioxide, and this causes acid rain. That's when the sulfur dioxide reacts with water in clouds, and then the rain produced is actually a type of sulfuric acid, and this could be really damaging for trees, for buildings and statues. And if it gets into lakes, it can also cause big damage to those ecosystems. So we can see there's lots and lots of problems with fossil fuels. So if we have a look at hydrogen fuel cells, we only have water as a waste product. This looks amazing because we won't have any of these other problems associated with burning fossil fuels. Also, it's much more energy efficient because we don't have any moving parts, like, for example, in a fossil fuel power plant, we've got to have a turbine which turns and a generator. At all of these different stages, we have the potential to lose energy. So this is actually really energy efficient, our hydrogen fuel cells. So what's the problem? Why aren't they everywhere right now? So the big problem kind of lies in hydrogen. Because hydrogen is a gas, it takes up much more volume to store, and so it's much more difficult to store. Also, if you remember from doing squeaky pop tests in class, if we set fire to hydrogen, we know that it's highly explosive. So we have an issue with hydrogen being really difficult to store and being very explosive. The other problem is, where do we get the hydrogen from? Now, currently, lots of the hydrogen actually comes from fossil fuels itself. So it doesn't really get rid of the problems associated with fossil fuels. Also, the other way of doing it is through the process of electrolysis. So remember, electrolysis means using electricity to separate. Now, by using electrolysis, we actually still need to use a lot of electricity. And by most of the way that we currently generate electricity in the UK is from fossil fuels. So we're still using fossil fuels to get hydrogen, either way we look at it. So, just to summarise, fuel cells could be it produces much fewer waste products and harmful waste products compared with fossil fuels. It's very energy efficient because it doesn't contain any kind of moving parts to generate this electricity. But the problem is, hydrogen is extremely difficult to store because it's a gas, or takes up a large volume anyway. It's explosive, which is obviously dangerous. And finally, to get the hydrogen, we kind of rely on fossil fuels because if we're using electrolysis, this requires electricity, and a lot of the electricity we generate in the first place comes from fossil fuels. Thanks.